Hello, and welcome to the program. My name is Michael Finney. Today, I am joined by Jonna Hayden and Sam Robb from Raconteur Press. Would you like to say hello?
Hey, everybody.
Greetings, program.
Let's get into it. You know, it's been a little while since we did the news program, but that's okay because there's news to talk about now. First thing I think on our minds is this sort of perennial topic that we have. Dad books, books for guys. Now, you know, I'm a guy. I read books, and we keep hearing that there's no books for me. Where do I keep finding these books? Jonna, where are they coming from?
Well, I can tell you that statement continues to come from traditional publishing and traditional publishing viewpoints, which are primarily female, who don't really publish any books that dads want to read besides Bain, really. And you know what they do put out as supposed dad books are not even in the range of what men enjoy reading. So they think, well, there's no good books. I'm like, they clearly have this enormous blind spot. Sometimes I feel like, they're standing right by the ocean. They're standing right by the ocean, on the beach going, there's no water. And India is right over there to their right, sloshing away with huge waves, doing all kinds of publications, having massive success in a variety of different publishing companies, selling books to dads. I mean, it's like, hello.
It's worse than that, Donna. They're on an island staring at their feet. Right?
Yeah.
They can't see everything around them.
No, they're just completely blind to it, and they keep insisting that this doesn't exist. And my response is, yeah, actually it does. You're just ignoring the fact that there's anything outside of your little bubble. So, and we see this constantly. I mean, it's like, oh, here we go again. It's like every 6 weeks on X, we get this rolling, there's no books published for men. And we're like, have you just looked anywhere? I mean, so it's like when your kid says, I'm bored, there's nothing to do. And you're like, you want me to give you something to do? Because in 3 minutes, I can supply like 6 small publishers doing massive sales to men. So,
oh, yeah. You look at what's out there, too, and what's selling. And they're, kind of blindsided by, when you point out people like, was it Matt Dinneman with Dungeon Crawler Carl, right? Came out of nowhere. Oh,
nowhere.
He's just right. He's writing stories that appeal to men, and not just to men, to young men.
Right? Yeah.
It isn't just the your Gen X types or even your millennials. Gen Z is in their 20s right now. They're dads, right? They're looking at starting families, or they have started families, and they're, when you talk about, why don't men read? That's your audience. It's because you're not providing anything for them, and there's a huge market out there. And as long as you talk to them and understand what kind of things resonate with that audience, it's not hard. They want to succeed.
Let me offer up an extra angle on things, because you guys are a publisher. Now, I'm just a lowly author out here on the scene, and humble podcaster, if I'm being honest. So let's look at another factor in the traditional publishing world. Perhaps they are staring at their feet, but also maybe they have been bound into a situation where they can only look at their feet. And I want to point at the analytics that are used by trad publishing to monitor the market and the units and the authors and everything. And when it comes to indie, there's lots of folks putting stuff out that are not on that radar because they are not following through with stuff like ISBNs and the rest. Now, I'm not completely against tracking numbers for products, SKUs, and the rest. But do I think that ISBNs sort of have a cartel hold on traditional publishing and the global book market? I do. I think that Amazon has done a nice thing with the ASINs and then, the other version of ISBNs they've pushed out. But this stuff is at a point where they're being willfully ignorant of the reality.
Well, okay, so what they're doing then is being Nielsen with tracking TV watching.
Right.
I mean, all they use is Nielsen surveys of people who watch the big three things and completely ignore Netflix or any kind of streaming service that's out there and going, nobody's watching TV anymore. It's like, yeah, they're just not watching the big channels. I mean,
they're not watching you.
They're not watching us. We're just like, we've disappeared off of that. And I will say that ISBNs are actually, they are a step up that a publisher or an author should consider, mostly because they're the ordering systems, the way people get books into a larger format outside of Amazon makes that pretty important. Getting up onto Ingram matters, and we're doing that. We bought our own ISBNs because we want to be in the ordering systems that exist for places like bookstores and libraries and things like that. It's old school, but it's still something that you should put your toe in. But the reality is that they only look at certain spots and assume that they know everything there is to know. So it's willful blindness. Plus, there's a very much like, I know a lot of people in trad publishing who are very like, oh, well, indie is just like a vanity press. I'm like, honey, you're 15 years behind. Catch up.
Yeah, that's not a fair assessment of things today.
Yeah. And I've heard that as recently as last week.
Sure.
I'm like, oh, honey, so far behind. I'll pat you on the head, not paying attention to anything you say from now on, because you really don't know what's going on. So
yeah, that's been over, I would say, since the mid 2010s. Whenever Andy Weir broke through, I would say that, and, that's basically the end of that argument.
At this point, I think if you are, I think if you are working with a publisher, small or large, right, you have looked at what it takes to succeed as an indie and the amount of work that goes in there, and have decided that you want to take the easier path. Being an indie author is just a stunning amount of information and work that you have to put in, completely above and beyond writing something that is, worth, people think is worth reading. It's absolutely staggering. And calling anybody that chooses to publish indie as a vanity press or a vanity author is really, that's literally just somebody's hoping to insult you at this point.
Yeah. So I do find that down the nose means, oh, you just don't want to do the work. Okay. So
let's jump from this topic over to maybe broaden things out a little bit. I know we mentioned how these platforms are enabling indie authors, or even serving as routes to development for authors who are looking to move from indie to trad, or maybe to expand out from trad into indie. But there's been, a handful of changes on ACX, Audible, Amazon over the last, I don't want to go back super far, but at the same time, the recent ones that have been happening, I think the pending thing right now is on Audible ACX for their royalty change.
Yeah, it's not pending. It's not pending. It's actually has changed. It came into effect May 26th.
Until the end of the year, I think, to upgrade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm actually holding out on that personally. I don't know how many titles I have up on ACX right now, but the idea is that some of those opportunities, like putting my stuff into the pool, I already know from Spotify that's not a good deal for me.
No, it's not.
It might be for other people, but I'm willing to test the waters and try it. But on the majority of my titles, I'm not interested in migrating them until the last possible minute. I have one title right now I'm looking to migrate.
Well, okay, so part of it for the audience that doesn't know is that the new royalty model they went to. Um, it sounds like an improvement, but it really isn't. It's because they say, oh, royalties for exclusive titles, if you just stay there with them, go from 40 to 50%. And if you do not exclusive, it's 25 to 30%. But the catch is structural. I mean, I just did a bunch of research on this. It's not per unit calculation. It's a pooled engagement based system like Kindle Unlimited. So the monthly membership fee just gets divided proportionally. So really, I mean, what's happening is it's just diluting everybody's profits, and it's pissed off enough people that 30,000 authors have signed a petition against this change. But Amazon doesn't care; they're just going to do what they want. Um, so it's for people trying to be discovered who aren't like a big name in this game. Suddenly, you're on a losing proposition here. So so we were looking at this going, oh, well, maybe not. So, because we've been looking to get into getting audiobooks out there. But like I said, a couple of weeks ago, this is so the Wild West with audio right now. Things are changing so fast.
Let me give you an extra bit of insight there too. So
Yeah.
you don't have to put your titles into the pool. You can opt them in. That's why I was saying there's only one title I'm interested in opting in to that experiment, because I've already done that experiment over the last couple of years with Spotify. I know it doesn't work. So for me, I'm kind of like, I would rather wait, not transition, not opt in for most of my titles, and then I'll just move them over to the new royalty rate, and it'll still just be straight retail, no pool.
Yeah, they were saying that every title on ACX must either enroll in the new model or they're going to remove you from distribution.
No.
So you might check.
No, I did check
Yeah.
it. I did check it.
Okay, so
That may be, they may have backtracked a little bit on that then, because
Well, I
that was
hope
what
so.
I was hearing originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, because I was worried about it too. But what it pans out as is you have to take the royalty cut if you want to remain on there after this period of time that ends up at the end of the year or whatever. So you can still do full retail, because they have to keep that, because they're pushing this stuff through to Apple Books, who isn't doing pool, is only doing retail.
Yeah.
So they have to keep that there. Now the other side of the pool thing, like I said, I got one title I'm going to put in it. I'll do that experiment. I'm fine with it. I don't care. Maybe there's some value in that for me. I know, like, I track, all of my titles and all of the outlets, the retail channels and stuff like that, and see kind of like how they produce on that network versus anywhere else. And then I'm getting more selective about where I am distributing any particular title.
And things have changed, right? Even 5 years ago, you wouldn't, ACX, Amazon would have been like, yeah, we're just changing our terms, live with it.
Yeah.
The fact that you do have Spotify and you do have some other audio options now, particularly with things like 11 Labs jumping in and trying to do their own distribution, is putting pressure. I mean, it's putting pressure on Amazon that wasn't there. You were talking, Mike, about that. Oh man, yeah, they are giving me 40% royalties now. So instead of taking 2/3 of everything, right, they're letting me keep an extra buck or two off of every sale. I mean, when the model is so skewed one way that you're happy that you're getting a few more crumbs, it's kind of indicative. I think the whole audio market is due for a really big shakeup, and I don't think it's going to come from Spotify. Just like you said, I think 11 Labs is going to be the one to do it. Basically tapping into the indie market, giving them the option of, hey, here is a low cost audiobook, and by the way, we'll handle distribution for it, and we will not, you know, treat you like, a commodity and strip you of all your, all the money that we can. We'll be partners with you. If they take that tack, Amazon's gonna, I think, can see Amazon hurting.
11 Labs I've used, for anybody not familiar, it's basically generative voice, text to speech. I think they actually do speech to speech or audio to audio. You can do music creation, all kinds of stuff. I've tried to, not that I've tried. I have locally trained models on my voice and run that stuff. It is something that I pay attention to. It is something that I am compelled by to a degree, but I'm still apprehensive when it's off-site, third party, even with somebody like 11 Labs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Part of it is your production side of it, getting the actual book produced. Is there's the expense there makes these your, but 11 Labs suddenly makes that achievable.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon's going to this pooled thing, makes doing royalty share with voice actors pretty scary too. And so that becomes an issue. But there's a lot of people I know that are going to direct sales. They're creating their own audiobooks and they're distributing through BookFunnel. They don't have to do anything. They can keep what I think it's like 90 to 95% of the royalties. Why would you want to give 40 to Amazon when you can just direct sale to your audience through BookFunnel?
BookFunnel's a paid service, though. You have to pay up front to access them, right? Yeah.
It is a paid service. They do actually have pretty good deals for authors. And I've actually spoken with BookFunnel's people at Author Nation. They're pretty straight up people, and they will work with you. And a lot of people are doing really well using them. It's a publisher where it's a little more challenging because we have different. It's based on how many authors we have, so we're still looking at that as an option. But BookFunnel gives you a direct download code. I mean, you don't have to worry about it being shared around. They buy the book directly from you. And if you're doing your own print on demand, say through BookVault, you can sell the book and the audio at the same time and retain a lot more of the money.
Yeah.
So, and you make some smaller publishers moving to a more direct sales approach using BookFunnel, so they can get around Amazon. I mean, Amazon is still the big dog in the room, obviously, but developing your own direct market is in many ways the ways to go. I mean, Lydia Scherer does that. She does direct sales. Katie Cross does, and they bypass Amazon almost completely. So
that takes a lot of infrastructure build and also, I guess, logistics on real world logistics on the behind the curtain. As an author.
Actually, not really.
No.
I mean, a lot of it is once you get your system set up. I mean, because you don't have to have any books in storage. If it's all print on demand, somebody else does it for you. You don't have to have storage space.
Oh, I guess I was meaning like direct. If you're going if you're selling via your own website, no third party at all.
Well, people think it's incredibly complex. I know a lot of people who are doing it, and it's just a matter of understanding how to set up the system. And there's plenty of people who will tell you how, and where. Yeah, you need a payment processor, you need a website, you need somebody, a payment processor that will deal with the taxes, something that gives you a good QuickBooks download monthly, a good print-on-demand service to work with, either BookVault or Ingram, and making sure everything's current. And there you are. So it's. I know authors who wrote it from their own little laptop and are making a serious bank.
What are you guys doing about physical, just out of curiosity? Because I mean, you do print on demand, but do you guys keep a physical, do you keep physical stock? Do you guys ship? I know we have in the past, I think maybe on the first session when we first talked, that went live in like January or something, we talked about bookstores. How is all of that looking to you guys or developing for you guys as an indie press? And, given just the nature of the industry's developments.
Oh, I seem to be getting all the questions today. So we do have a small bookstore. Raconteur Press is, and in the front of my shop where we have a display of the books that we have currently in print. And I do keep a physical archive of at least 1 to 2 of each book that we publish. We have in the past had stock, and we've when we go to conventions, we bring books with us. We are looking at creating a swag store where we do special 3-book editions of, say, Space Marines that has cool stickers, a pack of crayons, some salt, and a Tabasco bottle in it for Christmas. So
need that rack press merch store,
right. So we are working on putting together a merch store with special, because we have a lot of trilogies and things of anthologies, and putting together gift sets and things like that. We'd very much like to move into doing a print on demand store where people can just buy books from us directly, and audio. But that's at least a year out at this point, because bodies to create that. I'm a big fan of using every possible technology that is currently available to be the most forward-thinking publishing company we can be. And a lot of people have already broken ground on how to do the print on demand and the audio on demand using BookFunnel or different kind of services for that. And ultimately, we don't. If Amazon gets pissed off at us and cuts us off, we're kind of screwed. We're lucky that our anthologies are all through PubShare. So we don't have to worry too much in that direction. But even he had some problems with Amazon back around Christmas time. So
let's talk a little bit more about PubShare too, while you bring it up, because Chuck, we like him. I have been talking to him a little bit. I've started to interface with the site. So at the beginning of the year, my plan, one of my goals in my publishing plan for 2026 was to take some of my ebook titles and make them available more widely on platforms. So I started to do that, but it took me a little while. It had to go on the back burner until I met Chuck at PubShare. Because of you guys, because of Jaji and stuff, talking about it. And it made it so easy for me to push stuff out onto some of these other platforms. I was like, oh God, all right, this is too easy. This might change things,
it does.
He has revamped the site, and let's say that the old version of the site was not bad, but the new version is, I think, more efficient, more streamlined, and ideally, the outcomes will be more efficient and greater, right? Now, you guys have been working with them for how long?
3 years.
Okay.
3 years and 79 anthologies later.
Wow.
So, along with 8 postcard books and some books for Law Dog.
Have you put a new title onto the platform since the revamp?
Yes.
How did you like it? What did you like?
Well, I'm not the upload person, but I am the person who loads up all the information before the actual files go up for the book. And I will say it's glorious. It was already simple to upload everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the new system, it's just so clean and clear and beautiful. And you can see your checklist of all the things you need to do as you work through it. Before, he didn't really have a checklist of, okay, you have to do this, then you need this, then you have to have that. Now it gives you little green little, oh, you're there, yay, things all over it. Plus, the information available on sales is so much better and cleaner to find. So, yeah, it's a really wonderful update. I'm very pleased with it. Well, and also we spun Sam off and doing the AlphaMerx books too to PubShare, so he has a lot of experience as well. So,
yeah, Chuck and PubShare is awesome. I honestly, if to anybody who's listening to this, if you are a publisher and you do anthologies and you do not use PubShare, you are doing it wrong. That is just, straight up truth. If nothing else, right? John mentioned my wife and I did a couple of anthologies with the AlphaMerx, and did those through PubShare. If anything happens to us, right? Those are still up there. Those are still will still be earning royalties for their authors, until Amazon essentially kicks the books off of the platform for some reason. And Chuck is handling the royalty payments. He's handling the accounting. That alone for me is worth the price there. Not having to deal with that sort of paperwork and that sort of headache.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's and the new interface. I went in as an author to look at some of my reports and just how easy it is to see exactly where you are, how many copies of this have been sold, when were they sold. Oh, look, that interview that I did the other day or last month had, there's that little spike. I got a bunch of hits from people coming to buy my book. Just being able to look at the data and see how things are doing, it was always good in PubShare, but I think the new interface is really, really a step up. Chuck has listened to a lot of input. I know that there were times I would email him and say, hey, it'd be nice if you could. And I mean, literally a couple of hours later, I'd get an email back. Thanks for the comment. We'll think about it. We're looking at it. And it's really great to just see how much effort that he's put into this new version.
Yeah, he's great. Incredibly responsive, super open. He's going to get on this program. He's going to get on this podcast at some point. We talked about it. We talk, I would say right now, because I'm using the platform to push stuff wide, I'm not good at it. I haven't done it as many times as you guys have. So I'm still learning some of the routes and rules and stuff. And he's awesome at helping me sort it out. Cause if you haven't used it, you got to navigate through a new thing. And, I've got KDP down. I got find a way in audio down. Those are easy, but a new thing when you're trying to get into something new, it's great to have him very accessible as well. Let us begin to wrap things up. And you tell us about what is coming out on Rack Press for the month of June in 2026. That's the year it is.
Well, we have the follow-up to our Prometheus-nominated book, A Kiss for Damocles. Yay. Very first novel from J. Kenton Pierce, the second in that series. He has two concurrent series running in the Tales for the Long Night. And Kiss for Damocles introduced Shy as the main character. And her second book is coming out on June 19th. It's called Stormjammer. And wow, you should see the cover for that. The pre-order's up now. It's a killer cover. We're really impressed with it. So that's her second book is coming out. And we also started off the month with our anthology, Muse Within Us, which is stories of how the muse can manifest and where it comes from, which is sometimes not a bright and light space. It's a fun collection of stories. And then our boys book that came out this month is Raleigh and the Pirates. It's the first of Raleigh and his adventures as a kid working on a freighter in space. And that one is live now, both the book and the ebook. And oh man, the interior illustrations on that one are just phenomenal.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Gorgeous. We're very pleased. Jack Wilder just recently joined us as our new head designer as we move into it. We're not a newbie press anymore. We're kind of at our sophomore year. So we're into the Jack Wilder era. And wow, did he show up with it. He's just laying it down. And it's pretty impressive. So
love it. Is that all the titles for June then?
Yes. Well, we have LibertyCon at the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it kind of it's in Chattanooga at the end of the month, and we're presenting at a homeschooling convention for our boys' book. Sam set that up, and we also it's just a big business convention for us. And Bill Willingham is going to be joining us for the cover reveal for his series. So we try not to stack ourselves up too much in June. So
yeah. Well, hey, I want to say thanks for joining me again. I think this is maybe the third of these episodes that we've done. It's getting good. I feel like we're falling into the pocket here.
Well, Lord knows we can talk.
And you're easy to talk to, Michael.
You guys are conversationalists. I'm just hanging out. Well, hey, any final thoughts or comments before we wrap it up for today?
Yes, Sam should do that because I've been talking too much. So.
No, you've been spitting truth and giving some good info. Final comments. I would say one thing that Jonna didn't mention, probably because it's coming out just over the line in July, but given the way Amazon works, you may be able to find it in June, is the next anthology edited by David Batterina, which is Pet Monsters. And oh my goodness, the vibe off of that is awesome. The cover is going to be gorgeous, and the interior art is looking fantastic. And we always have ads in our, when we do our interior illustrations, and pretty much everybody, I think, in the press gets together to kick around ideas for some of these absolutely insane, hilarious, and wonderful ads that go into these anthologies. And there's going to be some really good ones for Pet Monsters.
Very cool.
And it has such an 80s throwback vibe to it. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, this has gone well, and we will talk again before too long.